Next game, Bills at the Dolphins. Let's open up. Bills -3.5. It's up to 5.5. Lots of action coming in on the Bills, and understandably so after that impressive win week 1. So who do you like in this game?
I like the Bills. I think they're a complete team. They really dominated and smashed the Jets. I think they only won by 10 points on the scoreboard, but it really was a lot more than that. Take out the Jamison Crowder play, and it's a 17-point game. And Jamison Crowder pretty much squirted through 2 players and then got into space and outran everyone. It was really impressive. But I think that the Dolphins, they struggled against the Patriots defense on the road. Patriots are a poor man's version of the Bills defense in terms of talent. Their coaching edge makes it a little bit more of a probably even. But I think if Fitzpatrick threw 3 picks last week, is he going to regain the Fitz magic that everyone loves to joke about? I don't think so against this defense. I think even if the Dolphins limit the Bills offense, because they do have a very good secondary and they were able to limit the Patriots in the passing game, I still think Buffalo can get something going on the ground, make some big plays. Of course, the caveat to that is they have to use Devin Singletary more. I don't know why Zach Moss was in the game so much. I know that there was a lot of good reports coming out of Moss, about Moss during camp, but he averaged 1 yard a carry and still got the 3rd most red zone carries in week 1 with 7. And that just blows my mind. Singletary got 1. Singletary is far more explosive. It's fine if you're going to mix them up, but you got to give Singletary some chances in the red zone. That's one of my qualms with Sean McDermott is sometimes he trusts random players that they've drafted more than others. Like when he put in Nathan Peterman over Tyrod Taylor, and now playing Zach Moss a ton when he's struggling near the goal line in the red zone. I don't know. That's just something that is rubbing me the wrong way about Sean McDermott. Maybe he'll change it, but anyway, I'm going Bills -5.5 for 2 to 3 units. I just think they're better than Miami at this point in time. They have a significant talent edge, and as good of a coach as Flores is, I don't think he's going to figure out a way to beat this Dolphins team.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I feel like the Bills should win this one easily. And you're right. I mean, it was just a 10-point game, but considering that Josh Allen fumbled twice near the red zone, or actually the second time was in the red zone, and then he had John Brown open for a touchdown and he missed them. And then that Crowder play where Edmonds missed the tackle and then Crowder went the distance. Yeah, it could have, instead of 27-17, it could have been 41-10. So if the Bills won 41-10, what would this line be? Would it be 6.5? Think about it that way. So I think that even though this line moved from 3.5 to 5.5, I still think it's a little bit short of where it should be. And I was looking at the computer model for this game, and my eyes popped out of my head when I saw the number that they gave the Bills. They think the Bills should be favored by 11. So which is just incredible. But I think that's close. I mean, you could argue the Bills are a top 5 team in the NFL. They have a great defense. Their offensive line's good. They have amazing talent at receiver and the 2 running backs now. The only question really is Josh Allen. We know that Allen has enormous upside. It's all about will he make mistakes or not? And he did last week. And he could always fumble away a couple, a scoring opportunity, and maybe the Dolphins sneak in and cover the spread that way. That's the only way I see the Dolphins covering this game, barring crazy kickoff returns or something. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm going to be on the Bills.
Yeah, it just seems like the right side. I think the Bills are one of the more complete teams in the league. It looks like Rick wants you to get some of the memorabilia like I have. Congrats on your week 1 win, Rick. Trying to turn around those losing ways.
What do you mean get rid of Mario stuff? Mario is amazing. What are you talking about? I actually have a bunch of memorabilia downstairs. If we ever move into a new house, I'm gonna set up a cool display where I have I have an Aaron Rodgers signed helmet. I have a Carson Wentz signed helmet. I forget who else, but I have a couple ones. So question here, a lot of tempting road favorites. The catnip for squares. I agree. Are strong visitors still a betting trap? That's a good question, I think, because, home teams don't get as many points nowadays. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think they're a little bit of a trap. It depends. Let's take the Bills-Dolphins game, for example. The Bills are getting 5.5 as a road favorite. Yeah, they don't have to deal with the crowd, but that means Miami's getting fewer points than normal. But you still have to take into account other factors like the weather in Miami. If it's really hot, if you got a team come from a cold place, Buffalo can get cold at different times of the year. that could make an impact. Or with Denver versus Tennessee, one of the reasons I was on that game with Denver was because their home field advantage isn't about the fans, it's about the altitude. So you have to take in those factors to an account when you're looking at like strong road favorites. Not that the Titans are particularly strong, but yeah, I think it really depends on the team for me. Like, I'm willing to trust the Bills because they're so rock solid in almost every aspect of the game. But like, if we're talking about the next team, I think we have up. Like, I'm a little bit less willing to trust them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it depends on the situation. Like, you know, if you really trust the team and they're going against inferior competition, then you shouldn't be worried. But if there's reason to believe a team you know, the line is inflated in their favor, then yeah, I definitely agree with that. So I think there's so many high favorites on the road this week. I think some of them are going to lose for sure. Like, not even just against the spread. I think some of them are going to lose outright. So it really depends on the situation.